Nobody plays more music. Absolutely nobody.
From Central Monrovia to your stereo. This is Freedom FM.
Mix by mix.
For the next 18 days, I will keep you crying. And you're crying all over the place? What I will continue to do, I've already succeeded in completely demoralizing your base. You're just crying all over the place. I haven't even started. I'm just warming up. How dare you, foolish, desperate people, talk about rescue country. Joseph Boakai couldn't even rescue himself. Some of you passing around, oh, cause that this, cause that. Where were you when I raised him money left and right to feed him and fly him from hospital to hospital? Where were you all sitting there talking nonsense? Talking about cause I ain't got no integrity. I didn't have integrity when I was feeding Joseph Boakai. Your God. Bunch of ungrateful people. Have you heard Joseph Boakai deny that I was raising money left and right to feed him? Have you heard him deny it? He will never deny it because he knows this to be true.
Some of you thought I was never going to raise families of Boakai. Because I went to counties. I'm not criticizing because I want to criticize. I'm criticizing because we said yesterday, former President, we are riding private jet. But the Joseph Boakai at brought the power is riding private jet from here to go to Thailand. But I will speak because people in Saturday some were passing the road who are comfortable. Spend my own money to bring him to power because we thought the road yesterday was going to be right again. I had no regret to vote against one person. But the people that are brought to power will regret why I had to vote for them again. This country is a better place and will be a better place. Yes, sir. But there's money in the country that we can make from, we don't need money from outside. So, but we don't want to empower people here. We say that are lawmakers. We have become lawbreakers. We have become criminals. We put all the money in the budget for ourselves and leave them out. I want to challenge some of your lawmakers. Some people say they want this senator. They're breaking all the law. The law is really breaking the law, but you want to go on. You know how people want to go on? Because they want to increase the time. They say they're too short. You cannot be a cancer, then you want to run through. You cannot be a lawmaker, then you strike the law that we pay ourselves. Then you say you want this senator, then you waste your time. Nobody here can be for the government economy. But when we get people, it's not happening again, it will never happen. The only thing they are there for, when last people were there for making and say, Sankey people, don't know what more than giving 1% and 1 way income. But they say that over there in fact their family people because they need water. And the person that needs water, and the person Sankey people say the water, we implore our family because some people are happy. Because it is a time to be happy. It is no party time when the country is not better. It is every party time when the country is better. And we give this as a challenge to all of you people. 2029, we will be on the ballot for the presidency. Well, we will come here and say, Brother Sakolet, you people will have to appoint a commissioner for Sakolet. Brother Sakolet, they are educated people. It's not about education. It's about how well you govern the people. They have people that have degrees, they know nothing. The only person with English paper that they can't achieve nothing from. Our marketeers will come to power. In every country, at least 2 million and spread out for marketeers, people and younger boys to empower themselves. The money is there, but everything is wrong. Never carry the people out because we are close.
Tell Joseph Boakai to forget about Yeke Koluba.
What is Bala Yeke Koluba?
Tell Yeke Koluba. Tell Yeke Koluba. You are not allowed to know you talk. You forsake yourself. Yeke Koluba crossing you. Yeke Koluba crossing from here. You are saying, "I'm not going to say Yeke Koluba." Tell Because Yaya Koluba are the one that is talking to us. So you are telling to me Yaya Koluba because a budget.
Oh, you get to be talking to the president. It's not a good thing.
Yes, they happy. Saying that me, my mother, was not happy to you. When you are not going to betray Yaya Koluba or betray the Nigerian people in life today, Yaya Koluba are not going to be crossing. You understand? You understand? You understand? Yaya Koluba. You don't want to Yaya Koluba there. It's not going to lie.
You go back, go for Yaga.
You don't respect it. You don't respect Yaya Koluba for that. You don't respect Yaya Koluba for that. Without you. They see that you do for them for Yaya Koluba. They don't forget for Yaya Koluba. Anything people are proud of them. God knows that what are the way you not to tell the country they for wrong. You say you're going to talk for Russia for no country. Now you're calling them no for no family. People are dying every day.
He said the president's problem is the most around.
No, I said it, I'm coming down. So I will shot you. You shot me, then you forget for Yaya Koluba. Now for Yaya Koluba, they're not talking to you. Then you forget for Yaya Koluba. Now I want to let them again, they will send you down Yaya Koluba. Then you forget for Yaya Koluba. Anything I do for me, I do for the other person. Then you leave Yaya Koluba. We don't know, they will know you. Our sister will go, take them to take Yaya Koluba from them. Now you know. They are not doing Yaya Koluba in our house.
Okay. All right, we're coming to anything you want to say final before we leave you. Thank you so much.
They must forget that Yaya Koluba because they know what's the one only so my boy I saw one boy. So why will go play one boy? You want to because of America. Now ever got one. You not see no more protesting with her. I want to come to Yaya Koluba protest. Yes. Yeah, that's okay. You tell you know, see, because some of the rest of the corner, so they rest out one corner, they do our own day. And they tell the other police, they tell the one people will pull out advance. You can't continue for it. Tell him to forget about Yaya Koluba, eh? Okay,
Hello. Yeah, man.
I saw you made mistake. I heard you last night. We are going to move Pupa. Absolutely, after the whole election, I came up to the end of teaching no song. We conclude that we will rescue the literature after winning. Just as I don't answer my phone, don't teach me up. You don't let me down. I don't do it. You have time. I don't talk because God knows why it's happening. Everything I will accept it because I was from that everyone to want to remember they tell us what a type of water. When we have growth, they tell us the book of the funding and the type of potential ruling and the anarchy law and everything and the provision statement for those commissioners who decided on budget to year. They tell the way forward is the powerhouse for peace. They were brought up now. PSDT are coming there. They belong there.
So now the government will bring Ron to Liberia and Ron to all the six and he can't join the family have been going on here and far dancing ex-narrator in the United States. Is now using when they were when they were coming, they said they were labor. So now the government will bring Ron to Liberia and Ron to all the six and they can't join. What kind of people they so? They are freedom fighters. What kind of people they so? They are freedom fighters. Freedom fighter, you.
Oh, yes, indeed. What a pleasant, good way. We'd like to welcome all of you a Monday morning. What a great atmosphere it feels from the nation's capital. And this is the song that introduces Liberians most informative breakfast platform. The Freedom Money Rise on Freedom 87.9. Oh yeah. Indeed, it was a very busy weekend. Yes, of course. One weekend where we saw Liberia practically on autopilot. We're almost the big five all leaving the country. President out, vice president out, first lady out, man. Oh. Yeah, I don't want to say out, man. He guy can be laughing. I don't know what he can be laughing about. But I man, just forget what all of you man. Katumu Yatabwaka. Mayata. I know what Mayata coming from with the two men make up. Hey Mayata. Way in the Gola forest. Enter the mansion now that the thing is small change and do the woman say I'll do my good morning, good morning. Good morning, Liberia. And of course the week has begun. What a great way. I would like to welcome all of you. And they say the regime speaker too has gone out on bilateral diplomatic engagement. But guess where? And with whom? With a junta leader in Guinea Conakry. Make him go to the Monamine and say, Monamine, is it? Hey, forcing yourself to be speaker. The speaker thing now, all the way they not do that Bagbati thing. Stay. You not ever see speaker in the country go to Monami to the border, go show yourself. They say, oh, I'm the speaker. Yeah, there's something not correct with that man speaker. What Monami got to do with speaker Benin? But anyway, good morning. Too many things to talk about. This morning we're going to do less talking, and of course we will have the big man from the CDC Youth League, Emmanuel Mwaba Johnson. Emmanuel Johnson has been away for quite some time. He has had proxy leading the charge of the Youth League. Johnson says, of everything that's happening back home, these movements demand our presence. And we must respond to the call of the people. And of course, Johnson is back home. And of course, he's been here talking tough on all sort of critical national issues, ranging from the arbitrary arrest and incarceration and the dragnet of court proceedings involving CDC lawmakers.
They were coming, they said they were freedom fighters.
Johnson has a view
They said they were liberators.
on that.
I want to keep their time.
And what has also appeared as a state-sponsored attempt to coerce, induce, and bribe witnesses to falsely testify, accusing those lawmakers. Just last week, in a decisive press conference, I like to call it, Johnson signaled his presence in Liberia, sent a caveat to the government and the police for the release of one John Yankee. And of course, subsequently, we saw him released. But I do not know whether it was as a result of Johnson's press conference. So he's going to be right here in our studio Emmanuel Mbaba Johnson, the immediate successor to Jefferson Tambako
They say they want labor
of the CDC Youth League.
when they were coming.
And yeah, we're going to talk that plus all other issues pertinent to politics, governance,
They teach them.
leadership, rule of law, the economy, the people,
They teach.
the youth.
What kind of people they so? They are freedom fighters. What kind of people they so? They are freedom fighters.
It promises to be
They feed our women. They are freedom fighters.
an intriguing discourse
Freedom.
that you don't want to miss.
Freedom fighters. Freedom.
So stick and stay on.
Turn our country. They are freedom.
And in the meantime, between time, we're going to be here
Ayo. Oh yeah.
picking back on some of the trending issues,
Ayo.
providing you updates
Ayo.
about the most relevant news happening in Liberia.
Ayo.
Whether it's Boaka's visit to, they call him the private jet president. Boaka is a kind of disgrace to Vame and Leke. That was small coming out. They used to tell us, oh, don't Vame and Leke. When you talk Sony, you must stay away. You talk, probably not Vame and Leke. But hey guys, here, man. Hey guys, good morning. Welcome.
Good morning, Abu. Good morning. We are back here after a hectic weekend for me. I don't know what it was for you, but it was good. At least I have to, for the first time, I had to call a very long distance. I've called distances longer than that, but to sit in car for like 7 hour 30 minutes. Yeah.
Why you went jiggy?
I went cool. I think I went over this because it's good to
You went
be back.
jiggy the time when I mean,
Yeah, the time when I mean, thank you for receiving our speaker. Hey, your fashion, I know she prints. But it's good. We are back here, and thanks to God Almighty for strength. We are here to discuss issues that matter most to our country and the progress of our country and all of that. Today is good. People are now encouraging us to accept the fact that the usage of private jet by the president or by a president is important. Even though we knew this, we said it before, but people say, hey, you guys were seeing this because of this person. But it's good that today, even many of those people who disagree with us before when we said using private jet was important, especially for the president, at least these people are today alluding to the fight. But so all of these things about what I can number, we are always here and we see this. Mm-hmm. When these things are happening in our hearts, we are grateful and excited. You know why? Because nobody have been able to tell us say we lie.
So let me ask, because I've heard that a few of the liars are apologizing already. Mm-hmm. At this point, should we be accepting apology or demand them to stick to the principles or the standard that they set and espouse? The Costa, the Boaka himself, of course, Alexander Cummings, and we're trying to be friends. Cummings are trying to be our friends. But I don't know, but anyway, we'll stay friends. But when you start doing all kind of things out there, it can be problem. How you kind of think what you're saying? You say, oh, you're writing all kind of things. I see that when you rap, people can hear it can go nowhere when you be talking on radio.
So Abu, the thing is, quite frankly, for me, it is not about people apologizing to the government or saying, "Oh, sorry, with this."
Apologizing to Mr. Weah. I always said that the Liberian people who voted against Weah, and saying, "Oh, you're using private jet," they should sit in their corner and issue an apology and say, "Oh, God, forgive us."
So, Abu, there are some apology that doesn't make sense to me. It don't make sense because the fact is the damage have already occurred. The damage have already been caused. So let's take, for example, you as a guy. There is this lady who always you see in the community and people feel like, oh, she's this, she's that. And that lady want to take herself so special. Mm-hmm. You go after her with lies and she finally give in. And after she had given in to you, after that, she realized that all that you told her is lie. No matter what it is at that point, no matter how much regret she get, the damage has already been caused. So it's either she live with it, but again, This is it with the country. All of these things the people said before, the damage have been caused to our country. Look at how our country is bleeding. Look at where we are now.
Terribly bleeding. Talking about that, a labor ministry report has come out requiring the National Port Authority management to reinstate and, of course, pay the former controller $280,000. And this money is not going to come from Sekou Douglas' pocket, right? It's the Liberian taxpayers' money. And we see a lot of these things happening. And these things are born out of terrible leadership decision making. We brought to power a group of individuals who were using vendetta to govern. So as a result, most of the decisions they were taking were ill-advised, illegal, and rushed.
You're talking about
$280,000, right? So when the people started going to court now, and because this is a country of law and not a country of men, we started seeing, what did we see? The president pays central bank governors, right? Millions to vacate. He goes to LTA and pay commissioners hundreds of thousands.
And we are told also,
all of the 20 people that go to court,
we are told that there's a conversation around Emma Glasgow.
Exactly.
They want to.
So imagine how much the country has lost in recorrecting the mess that Bouaka and his officials keep messing. You go to the place. This is the. I mean, NPA or just wherever. It's about the country, not about you. You go there, and then you taking personal decision, as if to say it's your family farm or this. You all will not realize that our country is being handled the most terrible way ever in the history of this country. Only because you made a very bad decision to have elected the least human being in the country at Bouaka. All of can try on Bouaka whole life he lived on the country. A whole life. And then sadly he lived and all of you now you're doing your lay, say what's where you're not buy a lay, pot of land and tina you're doing, and you're trying to put some tina together. All that time Bouaka living in the end when he left where he was selling cold water. That's a disgrace, right? 40 some more years in the highest echelon of public service, you leave, then your wife starts selling cold water. And then we thought we say, the men are the old man, They get some old men that get respect. I said, and let me tell you, when old man have respect, I said, you call him one time and tell him, say, oh man, I play the thing you do here, you not correct him, he push him. Stay the old man listening. You tell him publicly, as soon as you go up, community meeting, you say the old man can respect. I said, that one, you're not being rude, you're not being disrespectful to the public. You're only saying practically you're trying to put the community on their light. So basically, we are putting the nation on the light and the war that this other old man who is the president of our country, and he's not correct. They're not correct, old man. Yeah. So if anybody feels offended about that person is a damn bootlegger. So we ain't even get time for bootleggers because this man is damaging all of our features. 6 years of our life, about 6 years of our life now, we just stick one place because the whole country not going from. And the government is about to do something. They won't blame it on the Iran and Israel war thing. We wait here. Y'all go take your decision on wins on it. You can remember when COVID-19 came. That one, a warfare. Still, they told you, say, don't accept the government narrative. COVID-19 time, you remember that few shortage that happened? Still, they said it was the government. So, but this government here, because money really hard on them, what I've heard, we're trying to verify, and I'm going to tell you this. The government and her LPRC people, they're looking for money, so they come to increase the gas price. It got nothing to do with Iran and Sunni, right? It ain't reached that point. When it reach that point, we'll tell you. But they won't use it now to steal, even if that 1 month, right? They will add on extra costs because the whole world get fuel and gas already. Iran and Sunni ain't get nothing to do with anything. So, but the government won't criminally increase the gas price. Then as soon as you thought, you say, that Iran and Israel war. You see, these are rogues. But gratefully, we can be there when we get We put you on the alert. So we're telling you, when you see it happen, you just know straight. Coming out, they won't steal. That is NRRT, National ID Card thing again. All kind of stealing, being enter inside. Corruption, everything that enter inside. Nothing the government will start and finish fair. What everybody will sit and say, oh yeah, they want at least you try small, you do they want their own partisan and say, oh, that I want a second suffer more. And they say Ghana baby people, so oh, when you go to town hall, they can be crying and stealing and grabbing people. Somebody go, they think they can't afford that, right? But the NR people can say you pay $20, $25, $30, then they expedite your own default. This is criminality. This is thievery. You brought in a very messy government. They didn't even know what to do. All of them, door, empty head, buffoons, put them together. All they know, they tell you, when you know the party people tell you, say they know how to govern. That means, they know how to steal from the Liberian people and lie to them.
Because people feel the society, but then before doing the previous regime of the Unity Party, the society was illiterate. So they used to that stealing and trying to read long releases because they feel the old man in the bush who was fighting to make a farm will now understand why it is. So, but this is the real thing now. There are people to expose all these lies. We'll put them in simple English. If it is possible, we speak them. We'll put them in dialects. We let the people know what it is. This time around, no easy ride, no free ride. You will not lie to the people and think that you will just do it that way and just leave. No, we must identify all these things, make the public to know who you are, and this is it. The workers' administration, they didn't know that it has become difficult for them. They thought it was going to be how it was during the previous administration, but now as we speak,
people just shame that right?
Yeah.
So you go in Nigeria right here. You tell the whole government you carry it.
Then somebody go sit down with how they call him, Malabi to take picture. The guys,
Malabi was just but Malabi that son. for example, for those of us that when you earn, you didn't even graduate 22, you didn't graduate 22. First of all, before our generation, you earn that was 6 years and that was 8 years guarantee. 8 years. So you got to make sure. So anything over the 8 years now you can say, but to say you try out that 8 years, you know, 8 years you get your first. So when they want to move from there out on the time, they say 6 year guarantee. You try out, and you know, that's 6 years. Somewhere had a 4 hour way, we also day 5 years we left from there. But yeah, but those are the challenges that we encounter as a country and people. But it is a good news. I mean, we are turning a corner gradually as a country, right? For us to start record 22 years old, so the system has become flexible in ways that, and, you know, the possibility and chances are there once you commit the child to go through the process, no structural delays and all of that. So they get out. This is fine. So congratulations to all of our friends who walked the walls of a Cottington University there in Swakoko, Bon County. So yes, time to transition. Today is Monday. We're paying $4,000. So basically, like I told you, we really cannot start any kind of strong conversation now before Emmanuel comes. We'll just put everything into the conversation with Emmanuel Johnson. But in the meantime, you can make $4,000 for yourself this morning, right? By dialing star 799. Star 799. Okay. So star 799 star 11 hash. Star 799 star 11 hash is the short code, right? And then you wait a few seconds and select the currency that you love to play, whether it's US or Liberian dollars. You select, and then you wait a few more seconds. You select the number of plays, right? You just enter the number, order 2, 3, 4, 5 times. You enter, and for each time you play, 100 Liberian dollars will be the cost. So if you're playing 5 times, that's $500. But it qualifies you to win $4,000 on the show instantly. As soon as we do the draw, we'll send your beat to you right on your phone right away. You get it. So that's exactly what it is. Hey, guys, what's up? Can we recognize some of our...
Yes, I think we can recognize some of our Facebook followers here who are making their contribution. This first person, David Bolu says he's watching from Nicru Town in Harper City, Maryland County. And he's watching from YouTube. Okay, let's get to Bill G. Minman. Bill G. Minman says, good morning, brothers. I'm watching from Soul Clinic Community, Pingsville, Mansurado County. James Jackson Laman says, good morning, Freedom FM family. I'm watching you from my Soul Clinic residence. Thank you, Jackson. Chris Sherman, good morning, Freedom FM. I am Chris Sherman, watching from Sinjay, Crank, Cape Mark County. Thank you so kindly. Totman Sawulu says, I am watching from My Gibi County. My Gibi got a new George, now appointed by the president. Good morning, brother. Samuel Light Cooper says, good morning, brother Abu M. Sharif and Hagar Ganda. My name is Samuel Light Cooper, following from Carwell. Thank you. So, this Grant Thomas says, good morning, Freedom Morning Ras. I am following from Abdullah South Australia. Ezekiel Wayakoli says, good morning. I'm Ezekiel Wayakoli, following from Jacobstown. He says that. Omega Do says, good morning, my brother. I'm watching from Virginia. Jeremiah Farr says, good morning, watching from Grand Julia County, CVR Belt, a mining sector. There, he says that. Emmanuel X Topa Jr. says, good morning. I'm following from Fendale Community. Okay. Odell A. Gibson says, good morning, family. Happy new week. I am watching from my comfort zone in Arizona, the USA. Thank you. Trogon Edward says, good morning. Good morning, Trogon. Quiet Joshua says, good morning, guys. I'm watching from District 6, GSA Road. James Kafia says, my name is James Kafia. I'm watching or following from Grand Cape County, Republic of Liberia. James Lamy says, good morning, Brother Abu. Mohammed Maraman J. Sharif, good morning, Abu. I am watching from Amandi Diakite Intellectual Forum in Chekhov Town, St. Francis Community. Good morning. Who's next? David Nikan says, good morning, Freedom FM family. Watching you from Grand Bassa County, Compound 3. Thanks so much for the show, guys. He says that. Amara Jala Kamara says, good morning, Freedom Radio Liberia. I am following live from Brussels. Many thanks to God for giving us a great new week. Lily Tijit says, I am watching live from Old Rojo Bar Market. He says that. James Koluba Mayala says, I am watching from Duput Road. Roland W2 says, good morning, Freedom FM family. I am watching this show live from my job site, Vartan, Bourgeois Island. He says that. Bangali Dollar says, good morning, Abu. I'm watching live from Liberia, Monrovia, Loking Town. Thanks to you for the topic under discussion this morning. This next person, Peters Emmanuel, says, good morning, guys. Good morning, Peter. Sam Mayonwe says, good morning, my Freedom FM family. I am watching you guys from a purple corner at the Robbers Fuel Highway in Lower Maigibi County. Patrick says, following from Gantan, Neighbor County. Mercy B. Flomo, good morning, Freedom. I am watching from Habel Firestone. Thanks for the good work. Victoria Morris says, good morning. I am watching from Caldwell Dixville Junction in Liberia. Thank you, Victoria. Alaska P says, good morning. I'm watching from the state of Punjab, India. Good morning, Alaska. Mercy B. Flumo says, good morning. I'm watching from Habel Firestone. Thanks for the good work. She says that. Austin Jebo says, I am following from Lower Maigibi County, Electoral District number 1. And then Agatha Glasgow says, I am watching from Tinkers Village, a road where the common citizen children live. Okay, that does it for the comment section. The comment section right here. So yes, continue to follow us. Share the live this morning as we prepare to have a real code of conversation here. Samson Kirt says, good morning. I am watching from Bartnersville Township, District 11. Nathaniel Ketty says, good morning, folks. I am watching from Phoenix, Arizona, the USA. So yes, continue to send in your comments as we prepare to host the CDC Youth League, the chairperson of the CDC Youth League, who is going to be here with us to discuss a wide range of national issues as it relates to our country. So let's prepare ourselves as we anticipate the arrival of our guy. Too many things to talk about today. It promises to be a very interesting one, something that you would never miss. But it's good. We are here this morning. So like Abu said, while we also wait for our guest, you can make money here, star 799 star 11 hash, star 799 star 11 hash. You stand a chance to receive instant cash prize of at least 4,000 just for 100 LD. You stand a chance to receive 4,000. Maybe we can take Crime Stoppers. Abu, let's take Crime Stoppers break. So let's take Crime Stoppers break, and then we will be right back here this morning. But Abu, we can just get something cool.
Yeah, so just I don't know what is happening, but okay, so it's good to have all of you. So while we wait, basically we're gonna do something here this morning. We want to do is a little test. Today is Monday, so we'll open the phone lines for like 10-15 minutes. Because the government has argued that she has intervened and has mitigated the economic hardship, the cause of basic commodity, the market. Let me just put it that way. The other day they were saying, so do you hear the market people talking about, oh, the president had this? I said, no. So we like to know. It is the government statement versus what you, right, what your experience truly are out there, right? So we will definitely take some time if we can just get like 20 calls, because the president, I'm told, whenever the president is out of the country, they gave him the opportunity or the space. I don't know whether he's back now. Let me see. I think because he ain't really got anything much to do, but just any which way, wherever the case, right? So you will call us and tell us. Let's say probably today in today's Bwaka, Liberia, $500 can cool you, and a small family food, like, and you, your wife, your son and daughter, or something like that, a family of food, right? How much do you really need into this market, right, to survive? It's important. So comparative, we're not actually comparing with the CDC, but let's know exactly what is life for the people. What is life? What do you go through to survive as a family in Liberia today? Your market experience. You have partners, you have foreigners, you have other people listening to you. What does it mean? Because we hear every day, we take the phone, we're talking to each other, we just don't know exactly what you're going through, your daily hustle. Right? What you have to spend a day, whether it's on transportation, feeding, blah, 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 and these different costs, speak to it. Probably it has gotten better today, or it needs to improve. It's important because when you listen to the guys on the class radio there, they say everything is bread and butter. Things are okay. The president, Mr. Bwaka, said clearly in a cabinet meeting, told his official that everybody is happy in the country, things are okay. So let's test that in the next few minutes and see whether these things are true or they are exaggerated, and we know exactly what the realities are. So this is exactly what we're going to do, and the experiment for now up to 8:30 and stuff. Then we transition to something else. 0776 104 104 086 500 104 plus 231 86 500 104 are the numbers to call, right? And speak your mind, or forever hold your peace. What is life for you today in Liberia? Have you been rescued? Has rescue lived up to your expectation? How does the rescue matter translate into the cost of living, of livelihood for you in the market, on the car, school fees, and all of those things? Forget about the politics. We'll talk the politics very shortly, but let's talk about you, your livelihood, the bread and butter issue that how the book people call it. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Abu Sherry.
Good morning. You just take 1 minute. Tell us your name and make your point.
I'm Spencer James, calling from actually, to admit this government things have been very, very strong. Well, since I was born, this is the first year I have noticed that state government. Most of the private schools up to now,
most of the private schools didn't pay their teachers yet?
Yeah. Some 3 months, some 4 months, some of them in past 5 months, but for the school are 5 months. Because government.
So are you a private school teacher?
Yes, sir. I'm a private school teacher.
Okay, so you mean to say this is the first time that you guys have experienced hell in terms of the economic condition or reality in your life?
Yeah, this is the first time I've experienced it because I've been teaching for the past 17 years.
Mm-hmm.
This is the first time I'm teaching 3 to 4 different schools. All of them is the same thing.
And all the 3 to 4 different schools, all of them encountering the same problems?
The same problem. Same teachers is difficult.
Okay, all right. Let's hear from somebody else. Thanks a lot. 0776 104 104 086 500 104. Good morning.
Good morning, my brother.
Good morning. You could be a security personnel, just whoever you are. But let's hear you. Let's know exactly what is the atmosphere.
Thank you. I want to you and Hagar. This is the official for the Venezuela movement, and I joined you for Kara with the telephone. You know what you guys are saying this morning is true. That the reality for all of those people was the people that was before. Hagar and Abu, things are difficult. Even around again, there is no fighting alcohol. You reach really, there is no side that you power to the person you go. And then you start your kind of key. You tell you to carry to fail all the way happening. So I don't know. And the country is too
but you mean things are hard for Keke Rattle? Hello, things are hard for Keke Rattle. How? You don't get passengers like you used to get them before, or what?
Thank you so much. For me, that you said the power was put behind the Star War. So you said, okay. So we can get me out of the power and start to passion, but don't really fight. When you show you that, you'll go by the position where you get passed up. You get passed up for all that position, can you? Or everything you can do.
No, that one a regulation issue that to make sure you're orderly and order. But what I'm talking, are you not making money? Are you not making money?
Well, you're making money, my brother. So then you can get free passion up. You know why?
Why you not making money? You don't experience passengers on the streets like you used to before?
Very cool. So you went by. So what they are doing, you say no. So the money that they beyond point that time and the whole street internet. Like where I go after October was to come to school to wake up. That's what happened to the country and put it any day.
All right, thank you very much. Let's hear from hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Abu and Higa Bonus. Thank you for your time to give for at least to express ourselves this morning. I'm Isaac Lamito Dennis. I call from Peaceville. To be specific, I call for red lights.
Go ahead.
You see, sometimes when we use some adjectives to put get angry, but I can just see, some people analyzing with their, characteristic that we speak. They're all my level, who want to press in the country. For her to tell us what she's telling us. And I spent 12 consecutive years in a Liberian presidency. And she was one of those who found almost every new professional agreement in the country that amounted to 19 billion. 19 billion in the country.
Forget about all that billion thing before maybe you're not getting the record correct, but let's talk about what is life for you today.
The life for me today, I know. I want to just try to do something. The life for me today, my brother, is unbearable. What is that? Unbearable life. In the market, just take a microphone to the market.
So what's making life unbearable for you? What is that thing that's happening and making life unbearable? What?
We own a local solar in the country. You can also today before we eat it out of the next day. That's in the market. Chicken fuel we used to buy $4 for a while. $50 chicken fuel is $4 for $100. Just take the microphone in the market. When you go to the one, you go to the first store and have to go back to a chicken. When they tell you to buy $3,500, now you're going to $8,000. The people complaining every day,
But government say they not improve things and stuff. So what are you saying? I'm gonna say everything's okay. The politician the presidency Thank you very much. Let's hear from somebody else. Good morning. Good morning. Let's hear from your father here. How is life for you today?
My name is Jessica and I join from so many to before we go further for me to tell what is happening in my environmental community, it is clear, all of us know that there is something called GST, which is service tariff. That one they have gone to give from 9 to 12%.
Okay.
That one we talk about all the things that start to put in place, that the thing they put the goods and the mail as what to send to us.
So the government increased that one, it not made life difficult for you, or it made life.
It's making life difficult. Not for myself. Last 2 or 3 weeks ago, mosquito coil carton was around 5,000. But today, anyone can use mosquito coil. The price of mosquito carton are raising to 6,000 plus.
Oh, so that means malaria been coming go over.
Mosquito carton go up. Malaria is coming here because most people are not afford clothes, and it's going to prevent the room. Because every mosquito on the market, every 1 week or 3 days ago, out of 100, out of 200, power, they are on the day. As the moon selling alcohol on the day, as the moon selling rent, every week the prices can go up. There is a little cheap and put their boy, the students and the boys who are rushing to buy it. They call it golden chip. Golden chip last year was being sold for around 1,005. This is going to $1,850.
So in short, is the rescue agenda actually in reality, or you stay far from here?
We were took the rescuer and dubious people. They lack of the people, they took us, they are 419 people. So everything is said, they are
Hello, good morning. Yeah, good morning. All right, go ahead. Let's hear you, my man. Yeah, the other can get rather say things are tough for you, difficult, but you know you're on the side okay. You're to the rescue side.
Very tough. The police people after in the street. The police people after last month. They never after. Even when people were outside, they were checking money all the time. The police car. The people are sent to beggar in the street.
But the police people say right now they are professional. CDC town they were not professional. So how are they harassing
you? Professional. Professional. Yesterday night, even the Saturday night, what do you measure in the night? That's the empty inspection.
Yeah, Friday.
Yeah, Friday night doing inspection. Then I brought very important to see.
Yeah, they are trying to come to town. Yesterday, man. So when they do that inspection, I come in when they do that inspection, you can get men and they can be taking money for you.
Oh, but the package are going to take money for you. Then when the package is when you pay, it's 1,000. That's the money you pay. So 1,000 you pay. They want to empty the whole place was fast. In the night. If they're doing in the night from 8 to 9, all the way to 10, they were only go there. That's what kind of all that kind of carry is that they're taking money from the people. They're carrying it.
Money on the show, but let's hear more Liberian views on the state of the economy. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. How you doing?
Fine, let's hear you.
Okay. What? I'm just here about the teaching of the public school. It's actually serious. I've been in the 3 years. I've been the first time ever of school was getting 4 months, 3 months salary. Actually bad.
So that means private schools are joining 4 months, 3 months salary now?
Of course, of course.
I know you So wait, when you go teach, you can teach your 4 months before they pay you more?
If you're joining the salary, you got no money.
Okay. Wow. So now it's good to hear and know what happened to the people. Good morning. Fine, let's hear you.
Yeah, my name is Anna Okabaji, and I call from around here with all of the children for the movement of religion president. We are.
Go ahead, my brother.
Since I'm a 1 week now, we hear no current from Jungle Farm all the way to Jobro Town, all the way going to Smith. No current. I'm a 1 week now inside the heat. The mosquito now is it. No current, brother. No current. Almost 1 week now, no current. I was somebody doing power death at Jungle Farm, and then I know we didn't blow up for the no current. No one income, didn't repair anything. We just here in darkness.
That you saw that mean that you're in a mosquito then having party.
Don't tell that one. Mosquito call it go behind now. Everything was small. I guess last family have the bar. You almost 1 pack of mosquito in there.
And how much you can pay for the 1 pack?
1 pack of mosquito now is about 300 1 pack.
Mosquito call?
1 pack. I said my 1 pack.
One time you buy spray gun.
The spray gun too can make it. The spray gun you spray once there for nothing, bro. The spray gun down the animal reduce the strain or what?
Hello, good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, my children. How you doing this morning?
We are fine.
Okay, thank you very much for your talking for my son. My name, I'm Better Ruben Deeply. I'm calling you from Mamba, you left completely. So let me tell you, my son, I heard you asking what the economy looks like, how people feel. I'm telling you, look, in my lifetime, I saw many other presidents. At a young age, I saw William Aratobo. I saw Samuel Doe. I saw Charles Taylor. I saw Madam Salim. Even the English government, by the grace of God, I saw them. And I'm telling you, in a history period, the worst president that has ever taken over this country is Joseph Nyeman Boakai.
Oh.
This man, yes.
So that means former president, time is way better than Boakai?
You cannot, there's no way that any sign human being, the person with a sign, I'm not talking about the madman, but I'm talking about the president, will compare the leadership of Joseph Nyeman Boakai to that of His Excellency Dr. George Madawiya. There's no way.
So things really hard like that.
No, the people like me, I'm telling you, who could afford to feed their family cannot afford that. I'm telling you that sometimes, even like last night, like this all Sunday, I was able to food for other family whom that food I ate for my children to sleep.
Amen.
How bad this economy is, how bad Joseph Boakai is. I'm telling you, of my age, I'm 63 years old. Telling you, I wish this man that he would just say so, that he would just go and just stay and never to return to this country. Just now his leadership, everyone his leadership is there. It is qualified.
Wow, this is hard question. And I friend, yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
Morning. Let's hear you.
My name is Lawrence G. Johnson from St. Paul's Bridge.
St. Paul Bridge. Let's hear you.
my concern has to do with the police around here for the traffic is too much for us. Like, yeah, on a daily basis. We're just parking for no reason.
When they're taking money from you now, on the average, how much money can be taken from you?
Sometimes 1,000, 1,000 for you.
So that means if police stop you, that means if police stop you 3 times a day, and 3,000 most likely you will spend.
Of course, you know that this again, and then the person is running for I'm saying that the person is talking about it. So you try to explain to them that you are taking that money and you want to take them. So when you put this off in order for us to have this about it's not easy. Money is very high, getting tough and tough every day on a daily basis.
Oh, it's getting tough and tough. Well, let's see. But even Hussein is not calling. Does that mean he agrees? So that means hello, good morning.
How you doing?
Yeah, fine. I mean, nobody calling across the country to say anything. All the views are bad, negative, and stuff. So let's hear you, brother.
Yeah, because all of that, I now realize the issue. You know, there's a guy that only call from Conway. You know, you can call himself Wakati King. You know, the guy make he on the show.
Oh, I hold on, but that came on being even green, came on, right?
I think so. You know, you only call yourself Wakati King. Yeah, you Wakati King. You know,
I dare when you run away, you can call it.
Yeah, so the guy said, when the citizens are quiet day and they are applying for reason, it is important for the government to look at the economic issue. He said it's serious. Because he said, it's not only on the radio, but we are in the community, we are going to the market. What we are hearing is not good. It's necessary for our government to look in the economic issue. But they are not capable. They are not able. They have no clue. You know, if I can borrow your wine to address any of those issues, they are tough. It's no joke. They are difficult.
Now the current school teacher and say really making me feel so in a way. You know what I mean? To put your say condense 3 into 1.
Yeah.
The 3 more.
It's not a balancing to how walk up when you cooking in your home. Then your friend can't visit you and telling you, say, I even said no, my family will eat today. You are forced to quality to do.
Yeah.
So you could share. They get it still.
Okay.
They get it still. So
thank you very much. So right now, we're buying time. The segment time we into. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
My name is Steven, so I'm calling from Grove. Yeah, I'm sitting right in my ticket now. Presently, I'm telling you, the police were very Hello?
Yeah, I'm hearing you. Go ahead. How did you leave that time?
The police were ready to give me a hard time too much. Every day, the police were ready to do it for the KK men. They have so much in the drink of us. We can't even get our report money, and money business very high in this country. Yeah. Hello, I know the war for water in this country. The people are not even giving us chance. All of the time they will come in and now, in the day, they're all on the street giving all hard time.
So they can be taking money from you?
They're taking money, they're harassing. So when they ask you for a lesson, you get in the lesson, the whole lesson delay you, delay your passport and get down, you pull the phone, I'm paying you. And at the end of the day, they will tell you to get them 1,500 before you get your lesson for that. They will talk. You end up getting them like $500 again before you get your lesson. Then you will get back again to hold up for another passport. The money hard. All the people there, the way we used to get money, people not getting money that I get.
So let me ask you, the way I used to get money in the traffic, Jawia time,
it was 10 times better, my brother. It was 10 times better.
Oh, so they rescued Tinaho?
Yeah?
They rescued Tinaho yet?
They couldn't even rescue or they can't rescue themselves. Especially those that are in the government to the highest position. They can't rescue themselves.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you. I'll have to hold it there. I don't know how to call it kind of survey. Everybody go one side. 100% of all the calls on the show. Nothing good. I mean, this is reality. When the reality speaks, all you have to do as a leader, you listen. But unfortunately, I don't know the set of people we have, but I guess it's already here. The chairman of the CDC Youth League, the national chairman, Honorable Emmanuel Moba Johnson, is our guest here this morning on the show. So let's take a very short break and get set to be back for the conversation. This break, we'll be right back.
It's about musical. There are crimes in many places, in every community, you know, you can see. So if you see crime, you must report it. Don't take law in your hand for the right authority. Then it can't take your law in. Crime Stopper here for us, bringing safety to your door. Whether you rich or you poor, if you see a you must talk it. I mean you check. Do it for your safety. If you see it, don't keep it. You must call to report it. Crime Stopper, the people bringing safety to your door. Crime Stopper, stopping crime and making peace for them before. Crime Stopper, Liberia, from the center to interior. Crime Stopper, keeping us safe, they're stopping crimes for all of us. Crime Stopper, the people bringing safety to your door. Crime Stopper, stopping crime and making peace for them before. Crime Stopper, Liberia, from the center to interior. Crime Stopper, keeping us safe, they're stopping crimes for all of us.
Crime Stopper Liberia is your community crime fighting partner. Don't take the law into your own hands. Remember, if you see a crime, report it. This is a message from your own self, Old Man Sam Cyan.
Okay, Crime Stopper Liberia, and of course, it's good to be back. Welcome, and of course, this is the Freedom Money Rise on Freedom 87.9. We're very honored to have the Youth League chairperson of the Mali CDC, Congress for Democratic Change, and all that. Yeah, I say Mati because, of course, that's how I hear Emmanuel and the others say. So, Emmanuel, good morning. It's good to have you.
Yeah, good morning, Abu. Good morning to Brother Goodings, and it's an opportunity to be here with you guys. Thanks for always being there. It's a very nice studio. This probably could be my, I don't know how many times, but it's nice being here. And I say good morning to the young people across the 15 political subdivision of our country. It's an opportunity to embrace your path as young people and to stand up for what is right. And it's a greetings to the executive committee of the Revolutionary National Youth League.
How are you? I mean, generally.
Well, it's obvious that I wouldn't be fine. So I'm trying. It's tough in the country where they say the condition of the masses should be expressed in the faces of their leaders. So things are not technically going well, and so we're trying to remind the system.
Do you feel that, or you just heard people say?
Well,
do you get to feel?
It's obvious. It's obvious that the price of basic commodity goods and services. I have a kid that I sent to school, and it's a lot of money we spend to send the kid to school, and we have to change schools as well because there's hack intuition, and we have household to few as well, and there's so much for basic goods and services. The price of rice is never the same, and even cold water price has gone up, and everything has turned worse under this government. It's something that
which cold water are you drinking? Cold water, such as is $5.
Of course, the normal mineral water
it's $5.
Well, it's
the last time
in places where you I don't know where you are, but but where I am,
it depends.
Exactly.
It depends.
Exactly. So where I am.
So when you go in the restaurant, because I can eat right down the street to the cold water.
Yeah, the government have added tax. The government have added, I think, 2% tax.
Okay.
So that means everything you used to buy, there is an additional 2% on what you used to buy, in respect of what you buy, especially those who even go to the
restaurant, there isn't favorable conditions. So if you go into the restaurant, you have to what you usually had while going to the restaurant, you need to add to what you have. So relatively things are not moving well, but we bless God for our life, and yeah, we are striving.
Let's talk about the party. How's the party? Particularly the youth league. How's the young people and they CDC? The youths are verifiable, right? That's who we know them for. And in the midst of all of the contradictions, the issues of leadership and governance, I know how they feel, right? The desire to erect checkpoints and stampede these kinds of mishappenings in the country. So generally, how are they?
Well, they technically, I mean, again, how they feel is how we feel. So what we're doing is we're trying to stabilize the temperament because things are not going well, and it's obvious that young people have so much energy. So had we not been here, it would have been something different. Especially when we lost the election, there was so many emotions, a lot of different emotions, and because the reality,
I'm told there are a lot of disillusionment within the ranks of the youths in the CDC. Particularly, a lot of them fell direct victim of the Boakai, onslaughts.
Yeah,
on the CSA, the purge. A lot of CDC people, most of the young people were identified. Oh, you're CDC, and they lose their job. They do not have stake. Has that affected the youth league morale in any way?
That's the
people leaving, disintegration, all of those things.
That's the concept after accepting the result.
Okay.
That we never feared that we lost the election, and those guys that came technically did not come to govern; they came to revenge. And that revenge was seen in each and every sector, especially where you have young people. We talk about CSA, yes, things that happened at the MCC was extremely embarrassing.
But that the youth league suffers the brunt of the revenge.
Of course.
Why for?
Because we are the one that drive the desire, like the youthful exuberance of the institution. Obviously, CDC is what it is because of the young people. The young people constitute a significant percentage of our party population. So the government target against these young people was just very obvious. So I have read about Vendetta.
Okay.
And I've also read about witch hunt. This is the first government that made me to see what witch hunt is and what Vendetta is. Practically, because I saw people who we rub shoulder to shoulder, brothers who love for country is immense, and those people were violently and brutally and unlawfully removed from their positions. And I say this because every other conversation surrounding what it should have been in terms of the civil service standing order were contravened, and those better come directly to us, and we see to what extent the government has targeted these young people. But
so
again,
how have you been a help as chairman of the youth league in seeking justice? Because I mean, these are unjust actions, and of course, violations of their rights.
The government, from the fundamental, from the onset, has been unlawful. So we have been embracing the path along the way, and so to speak, there is a moment for everything, and we have consummated all of the desires, all of the temperaments, and whatever the young people decide to do, will be justified by what the government has done over the past time, and the government will hold us responsible for every actions taken by young people, because
are they planning to do something?
Well, we never know, because every time we wake up one morning, we see mysterious death. Every time we wake up one morning, another person has been unlawfully removed from their position. Every time we wake up one morning, price of goods, basic goods and services. So it's not particularly about these young people personal stuff, but generally in the country, things are not okay. Other than the fact that these young people are experiencing
Emmanuel, that young people are losing their job they did not work in their country because they associate with your political organization, and you are there as a leader. How does that make you feel? What action, what urgency has that created for you?
Well, it makes me feel very worse off. I do not feel okay. And those are things when I said the condition of the masses should be expressed in the faces of their leaders.
And then you keep your hands folded.
No, my hand has not been folded. My hand has never been folded. And
the comrades are not hearing. The comrades are not hearing you. They reach out. They say nobody's talking. The CEC is not talking, and of course we have been purged. Our rights have been denied. Nobody's speaking out.
That's not true. In the democratic space, we have been outspoken. We've said a lot. We've conducted press conferences. We've had different kind of engagement. And again, there are stages for everything. I want to say this because sensibly, people will say, "Oh, okay, what did you do when this happened?" And that happened. What did you do?
Have you supported them in legal pursuits?
Obviously.
Let's take the folks from MCC, for example. What did you do?
So fundamentally, if this government has stood up against the rule of law, what is legal that should be pursued by an individual? If the supreme institution that is responsible for bringing down rulings and whosoever, whether you are the first man in the country, you are not above that institution.
Okay, so that way you refuse to take action.
If the president is flagrantly being seen violating the rights, but violating the court decisions, it means any other thing is fruitless. But the record is taking that speaking against this issue and technically standing up for what you believe in, because the point here is these young people who have been violated in different institutions, we have encouraged them to seek faith of the fact that their rights were being violated. And it's obvious that when we try to engage, there isn't clearly, because it's obvious that the Youth League vote, the legal institutions, it's obvious that the party has a legal team, and if these things happen, we engage the legal team and legal actions are taken. But again, I just don't want to continuously dwell on those legal actions, because the country we find ourselves in, there's no respect for the rule of law. The president has.
Okay, you said the actions were illegal, but you are using legal means to resolve them. You're a political body, so why are you refusing to use the political means? However, that could be another subject
again, like I said, there is time for everything. Okay, and I can assure you that the young people will make a decisive decision. When that decision is being made, every consequences that are associated with that decision will be embraced by the young people.
Okay, so to all of you young cadres within the CDC, the chairman of the Youth League have said that suffering the brunt of the Unity Party repression, or if you may, vendetta, hold your peace. There'll be a time for decisive decision making. Does that summarize your point?
Well, that's point to the expression that there is a continuing process, and whatever that has to do with engaging the system outside of the box, there will be a decision announced for that. And I can assure all of these young people, every other thing you've ever experienced, your action will be channeled through that call, and we will take responsibility for every actions.
As chairman, do you think the government fear you?
For real, the government more than fear us.
This government doesn't take you seriously.
For real, I don't believe so. I don't believe so. I do believe that this government will have to take us seriously, because we are young people.
But the record shows that they do not take you seriously. They grab your supporters, they treat them anyhow, go for peaceful assembly, they round them up. They go to your party headquarters, they do whatever they feel like. They grab your chairman, humiliated him, and everything is okay. It looks normal.
No, everything is not okay. Everything doesn't look normal.
But they grab your chairman and run him up like one down water side criminal and put him in a pickup.
I just told you that the Youth League will enhance her decisive practical actions. As for what should be done legally, the Youth League has also reviewed that action to be very unlawful. With rating international community, we wrote the UN about that action. We wrote embassies across the country about that action, and it is always good because when those guys go in front of international community and in front of foreign international partners, the conversation is clear that why are you treating the opposition this way? There's no applause for you to illegally manhandle a chairperson of an institution. That is a violation of his rights, and that is an intimidation against the opposition. In government who try to position herself in a way to intimidate her opposition or her opponent, it's a government that is repressive. It's a government that is on a trajectory of imperialism. It's a government that is tyrannical.
And all you do as an opposition party is to cry baby.
We are not crying baby.
That's all you do.
We are not crying baby. You see, in the liberation struggle, there are instances and there are cases where you notify your potential partners.
Okay.
If we are taking actions as young people, it will be supported by the international community because we have put these people on record. We've written them, and then they probably would not have the chance to tell us, oh, okay, you should have done this, you should have done, because people will tell you, say, why you didn't do this, why your first action was this way. So it's obvious that the Youth League will meet at her executive level, and there will be decision from the executive committee of the Youth League, and there will be action from these young people, and the decisive time will come. Equally so, our actions of writing these people, putting the government on record, it cannot be considered as weakness. We're not sitting down folding our hands. We are talking about these issues, and again, what you did not take to the court cannot bring it to itself. So it's good that we're taking these issues to the international community. We are informing them that these are unlawful actions. It's not just about a member of the Youth League. Okay, other people who are not even member of the Youth League are being affected. You saw what happened to Ibrahim Don, a young man who graduated from Smart Institute.
Okay.
The next morning we woke up, we saw his body in the street. Mysterious death. There are tons of mysterious death in this country, and international community has been notified of these different issues. Again, there are strategies of the Youth League. There are soft power of the Youth League. There are hard power of the Youth League. And some of the soft power of the Youth League is to ensure that these issues are taken as record and delivered.
They say since you all tasted power, so you more about soft power now.
Well, soft power could
but 2016, Emmanuel Johnson will not be sounding like
no. I mean, soft power could mean
Emmanuel Johnson has understood what it means to sit down. And,
I don't know what you're talking about, but soft power it means. No, I'm not just saying okay, we should just dialogue. That's not what I'm saying. If tomorrow the United States government sanction Gregory Cuomo, it will be because there are sufficient evidence that they are sanctioning him. That it will be because we have informed them that he is doing this, he's doing this, he's doing this, and they are mysterious death all over the place. They are armed robbery all over the place, and Gregory is responsible. He is involved. Okay, he has his own gang, and they are terrorizing peaceful citizens. First time in the history of this country for a foreign national to mysteriously be killed in the country.
Gregory tells the world that, of course, he has reduced crime in the country as a result of whatever you may describe as repressive, policing, and all that. But say he has reduced the level of crime in the country. Law and order, he has restored it. Respect for law enforcement, he has also restored that. So he's having different conversations at different level with the international people, and you think you're putting him on record. So you have to create the atmosphere. You have to create the environment. And that's what you're not creating. You are being diplomatic.
No, I don't think we have been diplomatic. I don't think so. You know, when you lead young people, you take time on how you make decisions. You put yourself in a position that you have sufficiently taken the legal means to ensure that you find remedy to a specific situation. And whenever you come out, you decisively come out, and every consequences you embrace it as young people. So being a leader of the opposition youth league, well, we have to be very thoughtful in our actions. And trust me, when the final whistle is blown,
okay,
every other thing that he's saying, crime has been reduced. How is crime being reduced? When there are mysterious deaths around the place, when they are violent around the place, when there are burglary around the place, and robbery around the place, and those things are linked to greed. There are too many things that we have documented. Again, these international partners have sufficient evidence. It's just beyond the fact that you will just come as police director and say, oh, we have substantially reduced crime. That's not how crime is reduced. I'm a student of international development.
Okay.
So there are indicators that suggest crime reduction, and there are violent prompt environments. And the statistics is not from the police director standing being more full and say, oh, okay, we've reduced crime. No. Have you seen the statistics around police depots? The number of crimes being recorded, the violence being recorded. Have you seen it? And if cases are not going to the police, probably it means that the citizens are very wary of the fact that the police are not substantially getting involved with their cases.
Okay, so let's go to something.
Greg cannot say he has reduced crime and violence in Liberia. It's unfortunate.
Fair enough. Enough on trying to understand the psyche of the CDC Youth League as it is now. So let's move to some other issues.
And I hope you're not seeing it as not taking action.
No, you have explained yourself already, right? So that's fair. The Youth League recently held a press conference in collaboration with a family member of John Yanti. Something I like to read excerpts from the front page Africa newspaper. Engage your thought. It says the Youth League of the Coalition for Democratic Change, CDC, also criticized the government handling of the case. The CDC Youth League Chairman Emmanuel Johnson, quoting you, said Yanti detention violates the Liberian Constitution. Let's begin with that. How?
The Constitution gives Yantis the right to due process, and prolonged detention is a violation of that right. Yanti was brought into the country on the 6th of June.
Okay.
Yanti was detained, will be by the Liberia National Police, because it was a conglomeration of the joint security. Detained at Left Star Hotel. You may want to term it whichever way you want to term it, but the fact that he was kept at Left Star Hotel instead of being kept in the confinement of the police headquarters suggests that there is a prolonged detention from the 6th to the 18th. We had a press conference on the 17th, and on the 18th, before the police released him.
They said the government says Yanti had consented to be, or there were negotiations to have Yanti as state witness.
Well, it's also a violation.
How is that a violation?
Because at this point, government has charged everyone. Even Yanti was charged in extension. And that means government has sufficient evidence to prosecute.
Okay.
If you have sufficient evidence to prosecute, why are you negotiating with an alleged suspect? Why? Why are you negotiating with him? And negotiating with him financially also tint the integrity of our judicial system.
The police have denied that.
The police have denied that. When Greg did say that the family member, there was a family member who made a request.
Okay.
If you can play the SF from Gregory's statement, Gregory said the family member made the request. If the family member made a request, which one of the family member made a request? That has to be known to Liberian people. And in addition to that, why is that family member not being apprehended? Why is that family member not being also investigated? Because bribery is a violation of our law, and it tints the case. It means that whatever things surrounding bribery, it means that the testimony of the witness will not be accurate. And in addition of not being accurate, it may not also be reliable, and it's not admissible in the court of law, because you are using something extreme from voluntary.
So not only that, the prolonged detention is a violation of Yanti's right.
Okay.
The issue of presenting cash in return for testimony against Speaker Kofa is also a violation of all those who are being implicated in the case, because it means that whole money testify against these people, even though what you are testifying, what you are saying is not appropriate or it's not right. Okay, they didn't do anything of such that you are saying.
So that is your explanation.
No, that is the legal explanation for a democratic country, a country that respects the rule of law, a country that should be governed in a way, manner, and form that will suggest to the international community that we are in a democratic country.
Do you think the police should take instruction from the Youth League chairman of the CDC on how they proceed with a criminal case?
The police should take instruction from the SOP of the police. The police should protect life and property.
Of course.
The police should void of obstructing justice. Do you know what it means to obstruct justice? Bribing a witness, bribing an alleged suspect to testify falsely against someone you have charged is obstructing justice. That's what you're doing. So all of these things in conglomeration is a violation of our constitution. And that's what the police need to know. And that is why you saw Gregory very uncomfortable, very uneasy when he had a press conference, because he had nothing to say. It's clear that there was a negotiation between the family and the police. And it's also clear that there was an offer made to Yanti. And that's what the police, at this point, I think the whole case is messed up.
In your press conference, you put the value of the offer at 50,000, right?
Yeah, yes, 50,000.
And Yanti said
200,000.
200,000.
Yes.
So there's not inconsistency.
No, it's not inconsistency.
So where did he get your information? Where did he get your information from?
You know, when you're negotiating, Chief, the family made a request.
Okay.
Oh,
were you sure you were talking to the right person?
Of course. Priscilla Pan, Linda Yanti, I know the family.
Before your press conference, you ever had any interaction with John himself? Or it was just
John,
Christina, you trusted Christina's word?
John, of course I had interaction with John. John is a member of the Youth League in Electoral District number 16. We are in touch with all members of the Youth League. We keep in closely in touch with all
I'm trying to understand what convinced you as the chairman of the Youth League to have held that press conference and made these allegations. That prove inconsistent with what John himself had to say.
It's not inconsistent. I just want you to...
You said 50,000.
Yes.
John said 200,000.
So when you are negotiating...
You were very far from...
No, I was... Okay, so because there were stages of negotiation.
But you didn't say that. You just said that.
Did I say there was stages of negotiation?
In terms of the money?
Of course.
You were definitive of 50,000.
Yeah, because at that stage,
the
government proposed 50,000. At that stage, they had given some sort of money to Kofa Yanti, who is the cousin to John Yanti. And he went to Ghana and brought Yanti to the country. And he even gave Yanti 2,000 United States dollars. With his understanding that he's doing favor for a smaller brother and he's a bigger brother. So those were money exchanging hands. And the family was very, very, very emphatic that at a point, 50,000 was being offered as a family. Yanti probably could have had additional conversation that suggests 200,000. So there's nothing wrong about the figure. The point that is very clear is that there was a negotiation, there was a bribery associated, there was an obstruction of justice, there was prolonged detention, because come to think about it, why would you bring someone into the country and you did not take the person to the because the man was charged in extension? Why didn't you take that person to the court directly, and the court placed the man wherever the shoe placed him? But you take him carrying the 5-star hotel. The fact that you took him to 5-star hotel established the ground that there was a negotiation. The fact that you brought him on the 6th of June and did not immediately take him to the police headquarters or to the court, it means that the time interval at that period you were negotiating. So it could have been that the first time you negotiated, you say, okay, you gave him 50,000. Another time you negotiated and say, oh, okay, you know what, the 50,000 is small. There was an additional offer. He even said that his wife, Yanti's wife, and kid will be sent to Europe. I don't even understand whether they know how to. That's how people go to Europe or to go to America. That they would take Yanti and his family to Europe. So the family realized that that was all a grand scheme to implicate not just Yanti, but Speaker Kofa. And in addition to that, pay that sum of money, Yanti testify against these people, and in the end, Yanti is apprehended and placed behind bar. So it was a whole grand scheme of the government. That is why the government is unbalanced. That's why the government is uneasy.
So you saw
the youth league.
So you saw the fact that those offers were made,
of course,
by the government,
and it was, and that is why when the family came to us, we say, you know, there's nothing else we can do except you have the opportunity to come to the public. And the family want to appreciate Priscilla, want to appreciate Linda, want to appreciate the uncles who provided all the opportunity, brothers who provided the opportunity for the youth league to have a conversation with them. And we came at the party's headquarters and had that press conference. Since the day we had the press conference, the atmosphere has changed.
So did the government offer one of his cousins an appointment as ambassador, or got appointed as ambassador? Which way?
Okay, so we need that clarity from the government because
in your statement you said he also questioned that
Johnson's question.
No, not Johnson.
Me.
Johnson questioned the appointment of Yanti's cousin, Kofa Yanti, as ambassador, plenipotentiary, and special envoy for trade and investment.
Yes.
So that means you had a father here been appointed.
Yeah, he
already.
has been appointed.
Kofa
Yanti official Facebook page. In fact, he changed his work. Okay, he said normally when somebody have work,
this trade and investment, I thought is that Bar picking, right?
That's Kofa's position. Kofa's
so they took it from Mohamed Bar.
Well, we don't understand.
Right?
We don't understand what it
anyway, this is
Bar is also something surrounding a trade.
Trade investment.
Yeah, trade. He doing something. Well, that is plenipotentiary for Kofa Yanti. And for Kofa Yanti, we don't know how the appointment came out. It's just obvious that that was a kickback to ensure that Yanti is settled and that he can be able to bring John Yanti into the country. So you see everything playing in between. When there was a conversation between Kofa Yanti and the Spoon Network,
okay,
and there was a question being asked, Kofa Yanti, who appointed you? He could not say who appointed him. But hey, Kofa Yanti was being seen with the foreign minister, Beslo Yanti,
okay,
riding her official vehicle. So that suggests to you that there was a political settlement to ensure that Kofa Yanti goes to Ghana, get John Yanti. In addition to that, lie against Speaker Kofa and other people. So we're just seeing a summary of what the government is doing, obstructing justice, because that's not appropriate. Okay, if you refusing for the right thing to be done, you are obstructing justice, and you are setting an environment for chaos. You are setting an environment for uprising. And anybody, trust me, anything were to erupt, it will be justifiable, because bribery is a violation of our constitution. It's embarrassing the evidence that you have. You can to create state witness, it must be voluntary.
Okay.
It cannot be through coercion, it cannot be through duress, it cannot be through bribery. So I think those who are even stirring the leadership of our country probably don't even understand what it means to govern a country.
Do you support the fact that the government action is to get justice and establish how the Capitol building got a fire? I mean, like they said, was through arson, and identify the arson so that the law would take its own course.
How when the president on the first day went on the scene, and then he said this was done by hooligans, and the hooliganism will stop, and we're doing serious business in XYZ. The fact that
he's the president, he gets intelligent.
President don't just talk loosely.
You can say that he gets intelligent.
The president spoke out of confusedness. he lacks the ability to properly and effectively run a country. A president who should be very responsible will go to a scene of such and will express how outrageous that was, not blaming somebody or not starting an investigation and ending an investigation on the scene. The fact that you say someone did the act, the history of that Capitol building has suggested that the cafeteria have gotten on fire, and that was done by electrical fault. So if you are the president of the republic and go somewhere and say XYZ, the president established the foundation for the case. He said it was done by someone. So the police could not have even say anything otherwise because you'll be contradicting the president. So they just went in line with the president. And I think that was irresponsible. A president should be a president that speaks very wisely, that understands the prevailing circumstances and condition before even uttering a word. Because when the president speaks a policy statement, so that man is far from being presidential.
Okay, we'll come to that. But generally, the integrity of the whole investigation. What's your candid opinion about
I think it's disrupted. I think the integrity of the whole case has been thrown in the dustbin, and it also tainting the judicial system of our country, because no judge will sit in a court to look at an evidence that is inadmissible and an evidence that is associated with bribery and obstruction of justice. Trust me, that case
that has to be proven. That has to be proven. It has
of
to
course,
be proven
the family member is in possession of the $2,000 US that was given to John Yanti.
No, they could have $2,000, but what's the evidence to show that $2,000 is something that came from the government? What shows that?
What shows that is of the fact, because you see, there are collaboration of the crime. People who go to legal school or whatever, they will say the guilty mind, the guilty act, right? Men's rear and autos rear. The guilty mind of the government was to ensure that they brought Yanti to the country and did not take Yanti to the police headquarters or the court, because Yanti was charged in extension. If Yanti was charged in extension, taken to the court, and then the court sent him to Morel Central Prison and begin the process of the trial. But if you take Yanti from Ghana through extradition, according to the police director, and you brought him to the country and placed him in a 5-star hotel, that is an association of guilt, trying to negotiate. So when it's obvious that when there's finance, it's shown that okay, 2,000 was given, 50,000 was firstly placed up front, 200,000 also was placed up front. If people are saying these things, it means that it's correct, because the actions of the government, the guilty man and the guilty act of the fact that the government engaged the family member and gave some sort of money, and the family member decide to come to the public and say, no, this is unfair, this is unjust, we don't want to go this path. And it's clear, the calculation is clear. From Ghana to the hotel, nothing is done from the 6th up to the 17th until the Youth League of the CDC conducted this press conference with the family and said, this is wrong. Bribery is an obstruction of justice. Prolonged detention is a violation, so human violation.
Okay.
So all of these things, the court, the judge, knowledgeable, very, very knowledgeable. So the judge knows very well that obstruction of justice is a violation.
Let's come to the fact that in all of what we're saying, you've questioned the case, the entire trial and process and everything that's happening. Your lawmakers of the opposition, CDC, and all of them, right, have been the 5 of them now, or there are 5, right? The other lady was from the Unity Party Alliance.
Sure. That was just a scheme.
Yeah, but she was dropped.
Yeah, that was just a scheme.
So when you sit down in your political corner and looking at the whole case from a lens of politics, what do you think is happening, and what's the way out of it? These are CDC lawmakers,
exactly,
duly elected by their constituency.
Makes sense.
But practically denied the chance to serve the people in what many pundits have described or consider a trumped up and frivolous legal proceeding. Right. But they are denied, and it victimizes your party. It leaves somebody else with the room that CDC cannot provide protection for you. Don't do business. This is damning the morale of the CDC.
No, that is only showing a picture of a repressive government. That is identifying that this government is on the path of authoritarianism
and exposing the weakness of the CDC.
It's not exposing the weakness of the CDC, Chief.
But yes,
Your
lawmakers are
Joseph Human Bwaka won
selectively persecuted. Your lawmakers.
Joseph Human Bwaka won presumably less than 1% of the country's population that resulted to him winning the election.
Mm-hmm.
The numbers of people that are from the opposition substantial enough to cause any damage, irreparable damage in this country.
That numerical strength is being suppressed, for the lack of a better word. The government is adequately managing it, and you're being kept,
and that is inappropriate. That's what I think. That is what we need to highlight. We need to highlight
some of those lawmakers could be resigning from your party. The possibilities are there.
Political intimidation.
Mm-hmm.
Political intimidation is something that should be condemned. Okay, you cannot intimidate the opposition. You cannot come down on the opposition in the manner and form that suggests that you want a one-party system. And it's also good. It's good that we're recognizing the fact. And trust me, you are not on the wrong side. We are also not on the wrong side.
Okay.
That the fact that we're recognizing that the government is not proceeding correctly. In a government, in a democratic space, people should be able to express their opinion. People should not be associated, people's opinion should not be associated politically in an instance where you feel because I'm associated with the CDC, and so I should be treated in this manner and form. So the intimidation is clear. It's clear of the fact that the government is not on course.
Mm-hmm.
And it also not say, you cannot say, oh, it's exposing the CDC of weakness. No, the CDC is not weak. The CDC have proven time over numbers that the CDC is strong, fundamentally strong. And
yeah, the CDC of 2005, 2011, 2017.
You have to understand, bro, Abu, the strength of the CDC is not just proven in physical action.
Mm-hmm.
The strength of the CDC is also proven in of the fact that it is exposing this government of her weakness, the weaknesses of not understanding the fact that individuals have rights, that being an opposition doesn't mean that we should be treated the manner and form in which we're being treated, and also suggesting of the fact that violating the law in our country, the CDC has
so Emmanuel, here's the point I'm making. You've placed the government on lots of record. You've held several press conferences. You've spoken about many things, but to a point where your comments on national issues, right?
Right.
Don't no urgency to the government. They make no changes.
What we want to say?
They continue.
They usually had a press conference, and the next day we gave them 24 hours. It was less than 12 hours when Yanti. You know what we would have done? You know what we would have done? It was less than 12 hours when Yanti was sent to the court.
But that's just a one case.
They said, what do you mean? What do you mean?
One case.
No. Less than 12 minutes.
I agree.
Less than 12 hours.
You wonder about only one case. With all of the...
Only one case.
Only the Yanti case you spoke and the government acted, because so to speak, will get out to you. But besides that, what else have you spoken? You've had several press conferences, tons of them, highlighting genuine issues, genuine contradictions in the country, and the government has played deaf ear.
Because the government knew very well that we were at the crossroad. At that point, if there could have been nothing done about the government, about John Yanti, the usually would have taken decisive action. It was just clear. We've communicated everywhere we're supposed to communicate. Do you know that the district, the Leicester Hotel is one of our districts? And of the fact that we have district leadership in that process, there would have been problems. There would have been devastation in that space. There would have been extreme devastation, and the police would have regretted all of their action. So they took heed in the fact that in less than 12 hours, they sent Yanti to court. Then we are heading somewhere. But it's clear also that be aware that the government is not a government that respects the rule of law.
So it's a done deal for you now?
Well, it's not a done deal. We are following the case very closely, and the youth league will make determination on additional actions against the government, and that is clear.
Okay, what does the youth league stand on recent decision by the government, there's been mixed reaction to this one on banning school parade in the country.
You know, again, a visionless government, a government that has no plan from the onset, will obviously be seen in this manner and form. Putting a ban on gala events against schools suggests of a repressive government.
How?
A government that's scared. Of course, now you don't want people to associate. You don't want people to assemble. The fact that you fear people assembling and people associating, it means that you are not doing well. Government should provide. Article 17 of the Constitution provides that we have the right. Everybody have the right, irrespective of which political device you're from.
Okay.
These people are not political people. Why are you refusing for students to gather? Are you is the government feeling threatened by the assembly? Just a few days ago, you have the EFF parading the street. If the EFF can parade the street, why not people, young students have their gala event? It's not every day people having gala event. The gala event was just, it's just an event again by its expression.
Okay.
It's just an event. So if you put a ban to young people associating and affiliating at that moment, do you know what happens? It's part of the recreational activities of young people. It's part of a space where young people imitate what kind of career path that they want to follow. So a government that is visionless sit in their cozy offices and put up this draconian policy without understanding very well that there must be an appropriate thing done. Look at, by and large, was there a program that served as a substitute for the ban? If assuming that you say, okay, there is a ban on parade and ban on gala events, what substitute did the government put forth? What recreational substitute did the government put forth? The government already lacking the ability to infatuate programs. We are in a safe country. We are in an embarrassing situation in our country, and it's worse off to see at this moment and at this time and period that the government is behaving this way, because other countries, in neighboring countries, are making very significant strides. Young people who have the opportunity to have gala events. You see some people, young people, they want to be judge, they want to be doctors, they want to be lawyer. You can see all of those different things.
But on several occasions, we've listened to you parents complaining that the schools are extorting money from you as a result of these gala activities and all of that. You have to buy clothes, pay these fees, and do all of that. Don't you see it as a reduction in burden, or for you parents, especially where the money is supposed to use now to buy these things and pay for gala fees and all of that? You have to see it for another cause.
No, you don't see it that way. You see it generally as a violation.
But it's a general perception.
No, okay. So again, just because I'm a parent and I'm paying XYZ amount of money, doesn't suggest that I should violate the right of my child. You understand? My child has the right to assemble, to associate, to affiliate with his or her friends.
You could go to football games, the school would play classes, league, and all of that.
So gala even is traditional. I don't know whether you understand that. I passed through the gala events. You probably did. Abu probably did pass through the gala event. It's gala event when we all happy. We feel that we have an opportunity to prove ourselves. We have skills. Some of us want to be a police officer. Some of us want to be a military officer. Young people parade the street in this different regalia to ensure that they bring that, that self-satisfaction. Do you know what kind of emotional, do you know the amount of emotional distress you will cause when you just wake up one morning because the policy is ill-informed? That's not how you infatuate policy.
So here's what the government said. The move comes amid growing safety concerns and increasing incident of public disorder.
That is a government that sees repression as a tool to violate our constitution. The fact that you think that public disorder are caused because of gala, you don't understand. So because then you should have stopped EFF from parading the street. EFF paraded the street freely. Why? Because they are subsidiary of the government. They collaborated with the people, the Unity Party, and they brought the government to power. So they have the right. You understand? Selected justice. They have the right to parade the street whenever they want. But students who presumably are non-political parading the street and you stopping them? Why?
So by that comparison, that means it is not actually about disorder.
It's not about disorder. It's not about public outcry. It's about the fact.
Not even about safety.
That's the point. It can never be about
safety. So what do you think would be the objective the government seeks to achieve out of it?
Here's the point. Mm-hmm. It cannot be about safety because people don't just get up and parade and have gala events. Again, schools take considerable number of times to prepare themselves, prepare the students, prepare safety measure. I think when you see people,
we see police, even parents can be there.
Parents can be there. That's a fun time. Why are you disrupting that? And I think that idea came from Gregory.
Okay.
I can assure you, Gregory will be sanctioned.
Could it be out of fear? No, we'll come to this. Could it be out of fear for something?
Fear, of course, because they feel that could serve as a moment that the government could be reminded of her misrules and violation of the right of people, and as well as the rule of law, absolute and blatant violation of the rule of law. Because if you're refusing for people to assemble, if you're refusing for people to associate, in the mindset of the oppressors, they feel that if there's an opportunity for people to assemble, there will be a bigger assembly.
But these are students, not politicians.
So why are you denying them? You should be asking him.
But someone says maybe the justification could be that these are kids who are unable to take care of themselves. But a political gathering,
but you deny the kids and you allow EFFL to march the street, and
that's it,
unguarded without any police.
That is unfair.
So
if the kids having police and having their parents and the marching, they are enjoying the ceremony. The fun is there. The kids are feeling relief. They're feeling that they flexibility.
So why you think?
Sometimes at this point, I can't 1 second. Sometimes at this point, sometimes you even regret why you have to have a child in Liberia. I'm telling you, because kids, do you know the traumatic situation associated with that?
How do you think it's going to affect our school system?
When you are celebrating your kid's birthday, or when assume tomorrow is your kid's birthday, and you say, you know what, tomorrow your birthday will not be celebrated. Do you know the emotional distress it poses to the child?
So let me say this.
This ban is really embarrassing. It's frustrating, not only just to parents, but to students, to young children, because the government of the day is a repressive government. The government of the day does not respect the rule of law. The government does not respect individuals' rights. Even the Constitution you violated.
So Emmanuel, what the government does not want to see is squarely stated right here in this except in recent years, WASH and graduation parades have become annual spectacle in Monrovia and other urban areas, often featuring students in schools uniforms or face pins, dancing in the streets and blasting music from moving vehicles. So basically, this is what government does not want. Anybody dancing in the street, playing music, students putting pins on their faces, celebrating their achievement as a result of why the government said that should stop.
EFF wore beret, the word boost.
Okay.
They took ban in the streets, they marched in the streets. What did you do? So the fact that you are targeting these young children, these students, it means that you are a government that does not respect individuals' rights. It means that selectively you are choosing who should be prosecuted and who should not be prosecuted, which is wrong, which is a violation. And we cannot be in a country where our children are traumatized. You don't understand what I'm saying? When the
Minister of Education says that the celebration has turned chaotic, it has turned into chaos. Because dangerous behavior such as student rallying,
so that's a flimsy,
dancing on moving cars.
That's a flimsy and diabolical statement. First of all, what is the evidence? Which one of the school did you say? Okay, you are warning the school because policies are long road path, like long trajectory. You don't just wake up one morning, you web your eye. You don't just wake up one morning, you web your eye and say, "Oh, okay, you know what? There is a ban." What kind of government is this? What kind of country are we in? You just wake up one minute and say, "Oh, there's a ban on all parade." You don't do that.
Kind of draconian.
Draconian. There is a proper conversation that is done. Invite principals, invite schools, have the conversation. What are the alternative plans? If there's no gala event, what are the other alternative plans for these young children? because the children must be able to associate them and play.
And church organizations are also parading.
Good.
Those ones are allowed to parade.
That's the point. So substantially, these young children, trust me, Chief, food is not just auto. Even though the children experiencing extreme hunger, the number of statistics surrounding children hunger, extreme hunger in Liberia has increased. So not only that they experience extreme hunger, the fact that the only things that brings happiness, you don't understand when you're in high school, when you're in preschool, Chief, when you're in secondary school, one of the major things that brings happiness to you after wax, you want to celebrate. In addition to that, when you have a gala day, you want to be happy all in the street. You want to dress and wear your clothes. You want to be, you know.
So, but Emmanuel, here's the thing: government wants everybody sitting home. Times are hard, things are tough. The writings on the wall are not favorable for the government. They fear all of these things could pave the way to some kind of uprising, could ignite, the spirit of uprising. So everybody sit down home. We want too much public gathering, no parading, because when the children are parading, they learn the paramilitary stuff and all of those things. So everybody sit down, trying to control, the sake of the population, all that. If you sit down as a political person and you see all of these, what does that signal to you?
If the people fear the government, it's oppressive. It's authoritarianism. If the people love their government, it's democracy. Because the people's rights are protected, their freedom of assembly are protected, their right to associate is also protected. So,
but the government should minimize threat. The government feels threatened.
How is the government minimizing threat? The government cannot violate our rights. The government cannot just wake up one morning. I'm just letting you to know that there are whole round circles surrounding policies. I'm a student of international development. Practically from one of the functional countries in the world, the United States. You don't just wake up one morning, Chief. You understand, right? So what the Youth League is intending to do, the Youth League is also intending to file a lawsuit against the government.
On this subject?
Of course. Of course. We have tons of our members who are students.
Are you doing that in Kourou with the student community or the schools? Principles.
We will associate when the need be. It's fact that we have started conversation with principals and instructors. We're having conversation. The Youth League is deciding on filing a lawsuit against the government.
Even the PTA, Parent Teacher Association, right, where the parents' own thoughts about these things are also placed on the table. They have their office right down here.
Yeah, the Youth League is making a determination to file a lawsuit against the government, and that will be a collaborative effort because we feel that our members' rights have been violated by the government draconian policy. The government lack respect for individuals' rights. And a repressive government will trade on that path.
Okay, so his name is Emmanuel Moba Johnson, of course, the Youth League chair of the CDC. We're having a very fruitful conversations about a wide range of critical issues in the country this morning. And very shortly, we'll go to the phone lines and interact with you, our audience and followers. But Mr. Johnson, let's come back to there are drumbeats about protests and, nationwide protests and all of that. And in the midst of that, the government is coming down with all of these restraining bans on public activities, students' activities, and all of that. I'd like to know, firstly, what does the Youth League stand on the upcoming protests that's being organized by STAN and, of course, Moba Molu?
We as an institution would love to appreciate Mr. Molu for reminding the government, keeping the government feet to the fire. And Mr. Molu has been doing substantially well about rallying the young people, the masses in standing up against the government.
Is it a just cause?
Of course, it's presumably a just cause. The Youth League is also studying that situation to ensure that we make a decision on it. And there will be a definite decision from the executive committee of the Youth League whether to endorse the protest publicly or not. And when the Youth League shall have made that decision, I pray that we endorse the protest. And if that is done, every other thing surrounding, the Youth League has not taken this action, I can assure you.
So when are you waiting for?
I can assure you.
When are you waiting for last minute?
I can assure you.
When the protest, then you say, we endorse it, then it's
the government
Why not endorse and start to mobilize and rally together, beef up the screen and all that? But you're waiting for last minute of time.
We will make that decision. I can assure you. In a reasonable.
We're talking about July 17th. Today is the 23rd.
I know, but in a reasonable period, we will make that decision. And when that decision is made, we will not be one of those. I said it on OKFM.
Okay.
We will not be one of those people that will look or go on the radio and say you have to be calm because the government has never been calm. We will not be one of those people to say, oh, you have to be peaceful because the president has never been peaceful.
Should we expect a radical approach?
There will be an extreme situation. And that's what we will coin it as pay yourself. Young people will be in the streets across the country if that decision is made. Across the country. It's not just in Moserado County. There will be decisive action. The police lack the capacity to contain what will be coming on July 17, where the youth league to endorse that protest. And I can assure you, our CEOs, the zonal leadership, young people will extremely stampede themselves. And you will never hear me on the radio saying be peaceful because we have experienced.
So you're making that commitment even before endorsement of the protest. But you haven't endorsed the protest.
But I'm just telling you.
So you don't even understand the nature of the protest.
No, because I'm hoping that the youth endorse the protest.
So the nature of the protest could be different from that your view that you're expressing. The nature of the protest could be different from that.
When we endorse a protest, we endorse a protest to send a message that those of our members whose rights were being violated at MCC, those of our youth league members who were witch hunted across the country in different government positions, those of our young members who experienced the brunt of this system, when we woke up one morning, we see apron down, dead body in the street. You don't understand what it means. I think the police probably kind of understand it. Because the fact that they saw their pictures, their names, their numbers, their locations being placed on social media, that speaks of the fact that we are in charge of our community. When you are looking for entry point in a different community, you come to the youth league. We provide entry point into the community.
So somebody
you know
where
you sleep,
somebody
you know where you have your interaction. Some of them are cheating on their family. Okay, on their wives. We know where they go.
Say that picture thing are mortal.
So it's not mortal. When the youth league make a decision and a determination, when the executive committee of the youth league endorses the protest for July 17, I can assure you there will be a standstill in Monrovia, beyond Monrovia.
So Johnson, some are saying you already got reasons for which you should endorse the protest. You talked about people arbitrarily dismissed from government position across the country.
Right.
Many of whom are your members. Mysterious deaths. Also talking about the disrespect for the rule of law and all of these things. Don't you see it important at this point, considering that these activities like protest will require you cutting across the country to engage, especially where I have listened to Moru himself. He has said this protest could also be named Operation Envelope Liberia. So it could cut across not just in Moserado, but other counties, villages, towns, and all of these places. You have to engage with your people, zonal heads, people who are in those villages and things. You have to engage with them. You got 24 days to do so. Up to now, you're talking about you still having engagements. How soon?
So the youth league is a very responsible institution. Even if the chairman has a decision, the chairman has to go to the youth league executive committee and have that discussion.
So you're speaking now in your capacity as
chairperson of the
youth league. So some will say you're speaking. You've said in your capacity, you've promised that the youth league is going to be a part of this.
It is my interest.
It is your interest.
Yes, my desire for the youth league to endorse the protest, but it's not just endorsement of the protest does not just determine about my desire. I would take it to the executive committee.
Have you been engaging and having these conversations?
There have been different kind of conversations, okay, on how we should treat the government, because of the repressive stance. The youth league went to Grand Bassa County. We understood the language that the government had positioned herself in. The government is not a government of cooperation. The government is not a government respecting the rule of law. So the executive committee will go and have a discussion. And if that determination is made that we should endorse the protest. The youth league will endorse the protest, and I can assure you will see what will happen in the country. I'm not missing my words. There's no fear in our belly. Gregory has no capacity to contain what will happen on July 17th, where we
lastly we'll go to the phone lines. These conversations are in the corners and everywhere around Monrovia. You hear particularly people aligned with the regime that they have already rescued the country and the CDC is not coming back here anymore. And 2029 is around the corner. Do you see yourself with everything that's happening? Do you think your party is poised for 2029?
We are not just poised for 2029. And I want to make an emphatic statement. President Weah will be elected into power in 2029. We will have his inauguration and he will be inducted, and there will be celebration of the people again. And that inauguration will suggest a nature of a conglomeration of the desire of the Liberian people once again that have come to fulfillment. And every other discussion surrounding who we collaborate with in the opposition happens to be an ongoing conversation. And we will be able to secure what we need to secure, because it's already very obvious. It's obvious of the fact that the government has failed. And by the day, things are getting worse. The issue of rural connectivity is getting worse. The issue of healthcare, people are dying from curable diseases. The issue of education is being extremely repugnant from the ban on gathering, even as well as parade, and the situation surrounding the whole curriculum. President Weah said, okay, there were structural. That's the difference between the CDC and the Unity Party. There were structural measures to different sectors of our country. There was a time in our country where you have to pay to go to public university. President Weah said, okay, what we need to do is that these young people should not bear the brunt of tuition hike. There must be free tuition and fees.
But you still became a one-term regime.
Well, the one-term regime is not presumably for the fact that, President Weah did not do well. No. You're not using that to judge. Again, like we say, in our heart of heart, and I want to assure you,
if you did well, why you didn't win the election?
The election were being manipulated, I can assure you. And I want to be very emphatic on that. In my heart of heart, I know what we did.
And you conceded.
We should have. I'm telling you, the election belongs to the CDC.
Okay.
The CDC should have been given that opportunity to continue on the path that it had initiated, because we did things that was people-centered.
Assuming 2029, you even win the election, do you trust the democratic credibility of this government to announce you winner?
I trust our ability.
Whose ability?
The ability of the Indomitable Coalition for Democratic Change.
To participate in the election. Yeah, I trust that ability too. You participate.
No, not to participate in the election, but to secure a victory. I can assure you.
That's what I said. Assuming you win, right? The popular vote, and you don't get announced,
the country will be ungovernable. The country will be.
By what means? You'll be in opposition. You're in charge of nothing.
By any means. What do you mean?
You're opposition.
People who you see talking little, and very timely in terms of what they do, are people who are in possession of all.
Very well placed, well situated, and well seated officials in this government have said it clearly without any scruples that, of course, you are not going to win elections here. And even if who's going to give you that election? We heard names like Josiah Joker, who's been tipped to go to NEC, and he's a fanatical Unity partisan.
The former Chief Justice.
And we've heard Gloria Mususkat, who feels hurt that your regime incarcerated her and all of that. Those people will not serve you making honey.
And we will also not offer cooperation. It's about what we offer. It's not just about what you say. You say, okay, you manipulate the election, you walk. It doesn't even make sense. You manipulate the election, you walk away, and then we say to 4 our hands, we're not going to do that. The youth league of the CDC never going to do it. We're going to be in the street. If it means that our body lay in the street, we will go in the street. And if it means
the street, the CDC of Weah does not go to the street, and you know that.
So at that point, would that be the CDC of Weah? At that point, It will be young people with so much determination and refusing to go back to the dark days and repugnant system.
Yeah, but the party has a standard bearer.
It will be a
and the man who bears his standard is not a person who take his argument to the street. He dialogues them.
Okay, so at the point where the CDC is cheated and the elections results are announced and our data in our hands and all of the tally sheets suggest so that we won the election, we'll walk to the executive mansion and we'll make president. We are president.
Is that the way it happened?
You don't understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
We have all of the means possible.
You're going to walk to the mansion?
We'll walk to the mansion. And
make president. We are president.
Of course. We'll walk to the mansion and begin the government. And the country will be divided. You don't understand what I'm saying?
But we have police here to ensure that they're order. We have the army and all of that. What do you have to walk to the mansion? You're talking about walking to the mansion like it's walking in the park.
No police force can stop the tide of revolution. No army with water cannon, with pepper spray, with guns can deny the young people from their desire to seek what is right. No international community can refuse to ignore the path that we have sufficiently documented all of the evidence surrounding the backwardness of the systems and the repressiveness of the regime. And I can assure you, as you think it is just, or it cannot be just a walk in the park, the young people will make their way to the executive mansion, and you will witness what will happen.
Okay, you witness what will happen. 0776 104 104 086 500 104. His name is Emmanuel Moba Johnson, and of course, he's been our guest here this morning on the show. Okay, so let's hear from you all out there on these numbers.
Let's talk to this first person. Good morning.
Good morning, Abu.
Morning.
Yeah, I'm taking recording on tomorrow. Let me say good morning to our brother in the studio there. Abu, you call me when I come for bring to power, and I'm going to live it. You call wicked. You call me. Nothing cool except for the community. They say they can finish. What the phone is a lot.
Okay.
What the whole proper.
Thank you very much. Abdul Kane.
Good morning, Abu, and good morning to the arrowhead of the Indomitable Revolutionary Youth League, Comrade Emmanuel Moba Johnson, alias Papa Nitu. Abu, how you, all of your questions that were beautifully answered by our arrowhead. But let me just add up to some of the questions. Abu, the banning of parade, the government is not a strange thing. The United Party government under Manaseli took service from out of high school. They took service to teach the Liberian children how to know their rights, how to understand the Constitution, was taken out of high school under the UP. So they have come. But like the chairman said, we are consulting on the issue of crime are reduced. When crime reduced, now crime will go ahead and now say the citizens will know. Citizens are living in fear. Citizens are living in serious fear and prayer go. But let me just conclude on this.
Quickly, please.
The police adhere to our 24-hour ultimatum. In fact, they did it in 12 hours. But that is not enough. They have taken our colleagues from out of Monrovia, taken to another unknown destinations. We actually great is light who are acting around cooking evidence to make sure that nothing happens to them.
Okay.
Nothing.
All right. Thank you very much. Wait, let me just squeeze Hussein. Hussein, go ahead. Quickly, 30 seconds.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. Let me say good morning to the youth chair in the studio. So I want to appreciate you guys for the conversation. So I want to ask a question. I noticed in other political parties like the UP, they have programs to empower the young people. I wanted to understand as a youth chair, do you have any program to empower the young people being the youth chair, other than just singing battle craps and wanting to give them some admiration?
Hold it right there. Okay. So can you name one program that the UP has for the youth, the UP youth?
Yeah, so in the UP they have a scholarship scheme, both national and international.
They get scholarship scheme. You're not in school. You're out of school right now.
No, I'm not.
Okay,
let's talk to this person from the international line. Good morning.
Yeah,
and you too. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm Leo Small Alliance Uptown Pio. I'm calling from the Twin City, Minneapolis and Paul.
Go ahead.
MSP, the USA. Look, the young man still there, he really spoke my heart. And I wish I know, because we Liberians, we are very good at speaking when it comes to expressing our views. But when it comes to implementation, is there where, you know, it broke my heart also. But look, the honest truth is that I would love for to speak seriously the way he spoke, and I also love to see us come down high on the government, because our right is very important to our survivability.
Okay.
And trust me, Abu. Like the guy said, small that live in the US, live in other part of the world. If Baka dare live 2029, right? You saw the Arab Spring, you saw what happened in the Middle East. All over the Europe, America.
All right, too soon when I was reading. Good morning. All right, Pio, thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, Peter Lynn Peters, let's hear you.
Yeah, good morning, Abu. And let me say good morning to Chairman Mobile Johnson in studio. Let me first say thanks, Chairman, for the conversation. You see, Abu, to be honest, Liberia has become very difficult under this government. Liberia is hard, and the government think that putting fear in the citizens will help to keep them away from the street. So that when they talk about protests, citizens cannot come out, and then people will feel that everything is okay in this country. But I want to use this platform to tell Liberians that we have the right to express ourselves, and that right still exists today. We saw during the previous administration in June 7 how people came out. We are calling on Liberians that this country is hard. Sitting in your comfort zone and complaining will not help. But coming out to show to this government that they are stealing, they are not rescuing the Liberian people, but they are rescuing themselves, it's going to help a lot.
Yeah,
so we are calling on Liberians.
The chairman does a protest here, so you got to wait. David King, let's hear you.
Yeah, good morning, Abu, and good morning, Oheka, and good morning to Nito. This is David King, and I do join you this morning from the Broward VR. You see, I love the question you just asked, that little boy. You know, people should not think about empowerment in the CDC. The CDC started this long ago. You know about the Munatel, right? So let us not go there. Let's address the substantive issues. You asked Chairman Mobile Johnson concerning if the CDC is cheated. If the CDC is cheated, and my brother, I do not see the CDC being cheated by the Unity Party, because they know very well.
Thank you very much. Comrade Wisa, let's hear you.
Thank you, Abu. Let me say to Comrade Johnson, the chairman of the Youth League, he has eloquently spoken, and the position of the chairman and the Revolutionary National Youth League remain a policy statement. And if you think that Abu, the chairman, has gone to intellectualize with the regime, he's making a terrible mistake. It's just a matter of time that Bwaka will be disgraced if he handcuffed in this country. Like we said to you clearly, you're talking about beating partisans and going after lawmakers and party chairman. We've seen that in history.
So who's going to handcuff?
I'm saying, listen to me.
No, who's going to handcuff Bwaka?
I'm saying to you. I'm saying to you, where is Charleston today? You need to ask yourself that question. Where's Blaise Compaoré? Where's Blaise Compaoré today? I'm saying to you that history is replete when dictators become very ruthless and arrogant and adamant about obtaining the fundamental precepts and pillars of justice and the fundamentals of democracy. The people themselves become rulers in their own image, in their own right, and they will take decision on the basis of defendants.
Oh, the committee has been harmonized some kind of way. But let's see. Let's take two more calls, and then we'll go back to the chair in studio. Good morning.
Yeah, at the morning I'm calling from a place at work, Granada Street.
Go ahead.
Yeah, let me say thank the chairman and chairman we value supporting 100%. They came to support and they came to rescue.
Oh, so all of y'all down with us, you're staying with the chairman?
All of us staying with him.
All right, thank you very much. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It is Mohammed Maraman Chief calling from Ahmadiyya that is
Go ahead.
Yes, the issue about the government, I'm disappointed in that I know it's not in the opposition, 12 years, the way, what this again, the former president, Eddie Johnson, if I can get his power, everything is way that press conference, having release or what the government diplomatic payment.
Okay, so you're not enjoying it this time around, right? So what do you want to see happening now? Okay. The government people will fire the masses already. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, good morning. Let me see this special occasion to SM revolutionary salutation to Methodist Studio Chairman Emmanuel Agostino Mobile Johnson. To the point, the government is actually lack of priority. That is why we decided to continue to face so many constraints. I can tell you for sure, like the chairman said, it is just a matter of time. The young people move into history.
All right, thank you very much. Ivan, you want to conclude quickly? We're pressed with time.
Yeah, thank you, Abu. Like I was saying, this is Fidel on the line, Ivan Wisha. Again, like I was saying to you, all these chicaneries being orchestrated by the tyrannical puppeteer in Mr. Bwaka and his cohorts are all diversionary tactics. The real issues in the country are the bread and butter issues. These are the concrete material conditions that are appalling, that are creating social, economic, excruciating hardship and setback in the country. So when you have a government that's supposed to deal with the material condition, the health sector, the agriculture, the school, the economy, the water, the environmental issues, and you leave the issues and running after Gallaudet, it's been very useful. What kind of useless government you going after Gallaudet? But is that strange? They are banned motorcyclists. They are banned most of the hospitals. They are lacking of drugs, even FCS instructors. So,
yeah, but the chairman have said they are not going to let that go. They're going to take legal action. That's what your chairman have said.
Of course, no, legal and political actions. The chairman has said it clearly. There will be legal and political actions. Let me say this to you in my conclusion, that the issues about the revolution will be led by people in uniform. There will be revolution in this country. It will be led by people in uniform.
What kind of revolution are you talking about? 2029?
I am telling Abu, you can
the chairman said if the United Party, like they always brag, that they will not give you power. The chairman said if that happens, you guys will march President Weah to the mansion. I don't know how that's going to happen, but he have said that that's going to happen.
Abu, power was given and power will be taken. Power was given and will be taken.
Thank you very much. And so, Chairman, time. So we hold it right there. That's and hear from you. How do you respond? Basically, these are the views of your people. They have complimented your presence, and I think they're in support. Aside from Hussein Kewu, who said that you're chanting battle cries with the youth. What program do you have for them? I only have problem with his comparison because the institution he too represent, he's been out of school. He's a young little kid. He dropped from school. We has free tuition. Still, he dropping from free tuition. But anyway, that Hussein. Let's say
you technically, I want to appreciate the callers. I want to appreciate Brother Alvin Wisse for his intro, and every interventions that President Weah made, the Unity Party condemned it, and they said that they will reverse it. Unfortunately, not a single reversion of all of the people-based interventions made by President Weah has been reversed by this government. They say, oh, okay, President, we are the harmonization, you harmonize there, we harmonize your pay. They have never, ever reversed that course of action. They said free tuition for public university was wrong. They have never reversed it. And you can see to what extent these people are hypocrite. And they do not believe do not believe in what they say.
Okay.
There is misplaced priorities. There's scattered agenda. The government lost focus. And that's why we don't even see a single priority of the government. What is this government is known for? What are they known for? Let's go.
Yellow machines.
It doesn't make sense. Yellow machine that violates PPCC's fundamentals. A yellow machine that lack understanding of what happens in terms of negotiation between the legislature and the institution. The yellow machine that is auto. That you understand? People just talk about it. So it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that this government has positioned herself in this way. And we are running out of time. I can assure you we are running out of time. And when the Youth League make a decision, and when the executive committee of the Youth League make that decision to endorse the protest on July 17, there will be a revolution in a revolution. And that will signify a resounding order. Mr. Bwaga should travel. He should leave the country. He should leave the country because he will be, when that decision is made, Bwaga will be, there will be, not even him, there will be less of individual that will be placed on citizen arrest. Will go for these people.
On July 17th. That means the government will pray that you don't endorse
when
the
protest. When the Youth League make a determination and that is clear, we endorse that protest. When that protest is endorsed, you wouldn't like our action. And I'm saying this because I know what I know and what I've seen. And do not take some of our expressions.
Somebody say you're on political bluff.
Political bluff.
The regime doesn't fear you.
The hotel, the Star Life Hotel, will be seized by militants of the Youth League. And they tend to have reached 24 hours, one day, without the government making that decision to take Yanti from that hotel to the court. That hotel will be a history. It would have been a history. And they knew very well, I'm sure that they have intelligence.
Okay.
I'm sure that they have intelligence. They knew very well that the Youth League had extended her hand moving towards that. And so they acted in 12 hours. If that can happen, and then what is going to happen on July 17 when the Youth League endorses that protest, I can assure you things will not be normal. Things will not be okay. A lot will not be okay. And the police, I'm very clear. If the police think that they can shoot one human being, if a bullet is shot in the midst, of young people, young people will defend themselves unarguably. And to whatever means, if it means that we reply to what has been sent at us, we will reply to what has been sent at us. And don't ask us where we will get it from.
Is that a trend?
Don't ask us. We've been in charge here for some time, for substantial. 6 years is very substantial enough for me to be protected.
Yeah.
And I can assure you,
we know you got
and
rocks.
I can assure
you got rocks.
I can assure you, militants of the Youth League of the CDC will make that determination. And when that is done, Mr. Bwaga should get out of the way of the young people.
Okay, Chairman.
Gregory should get out of the way of the young people. The Justice Minister should get out of the way of the young people, because people will be listed and we will be clear that those who have suffered the young people over the years, those who have targeted the young people, they have witch hunted the young people, they have distributed poverty and dishonor to the population of our country. They have reduced our mothers and our parents in the slums and impoverished community to struggle for food in the presence of basic goods and services are in demand. We will stampede our way in the corridor of power, and we can assure you that there will be an unspecified reasons and consequences associated with our action, and the government will take responsibility of that.
Thank you very much, Emmanuel Johnson. Closing on a very tough note, and of course, the interaction has been very fruitful. Many thanks to all of you who follow, contributed, call in, just play the listening role. These conversations will continue. Hey, God, we got to go. Time is off.
And we will be here on tomorrow. Until then, let's keep the peace of our country. This country will not burn.